Yeah. Just so you understand, I'm going to want my rights enforced and I'm going to want prosecuted those that are liable for the enforcement of the laws. Now, you might say, well, it's my money and I can't sue you for it. But it's actually my money. Oh, you just have been able to hold on to it because nobody's prosecuted you. Now, yesterday or the day before, I mentioned the land wealth. Yes, of those individuals that thought, well, I own most of the land and that's why I control the government. Oh, some sort of special entitlement where I made mention that I'm going to want 2 million acres and I'm going to want those acres. Now, I'll sue you for it, yes, or I'll buy it from you, but I'm going to buy up 2 million acres. And I'm going to use the land for what I know is productive for the nation. And then I'm going to find out where the currencies are. Now, it's not every Forex account. It's only those that are pegged, yes, to the nations that said that we will protect your rights as nations when you decided that you would peg your currency to our currency. Now, the king of Saudi Arabia says, well, it is pegged or it's not because it says, oh, there's no special rights to those that have based their whole economy, yes, on the honest United States government to always prosecute any corruption. Well, let's say you have a lot of land in any county or state of the United States, and you know that you never sell because land always goes up, real estate always goes up. And we get to 0% where we're at right now. And then somebody decides to pull the rug out from underneath the rest of the nations of the world because they're going to slide one in using the slang of the family poach. And then all of a sudden, interest rates go up because the world's buying our current. What's your land worth if nobody buys it? Government employee. What's your family's actual worth if nobody wants to buy what you're selling? Now, I did go through Y2K. You remember the actual value of technology stocks? Yes. And I did see that when it sell on one side, the markets went down 50%. I did see that I went through a foreclosure, right. And when real estate doesn't go up always, right, because my house was worth 255,000, yeah. And then it was worth 155,000 approximately 1 year later. Well, if you owned land from 2008 to approximately 2012, did it go down in value? Well, when interest rates are at 0% and other nations, other countries are believing that you will enforce the laws. Now, your thought is, Queen, well, if they don't like me, they can just unpeg their currency and they can have their own free floating currency if they don't like how I'm running the royal family. But my thought is that you're legally obligated to enforce corruption because there could be a large number of lawsuits against any nation. Now, why don't you get me the actual agreements for pegging currency? Now, let's say I sued the United States as a citizen of the United States of America for not actually enforcing the laws of the United States because of the responsibility of the United States to recognize the rights of the nations that have pegged their currency. The Dutch guilder, Bahamian dollar, Bahrainian dinar, ooh, Bermuda, Cayman Islands, Cuba, the new president. And then there's the Dejabonche franc. Yes, now it sounds French, but it's not. There's the Dutch guilder, the East Caribbean dollar, the Eritrean nakfa, Hong Kong dollar. I didn't know that was pegged to the United States dollar. I thought that would have been English. Didn't we give Hong Kong back? Oh, am I English? Ah, I know when the colonials were living here. Yes. Now, the colonialization of the world, Queen? Yes. Did you decide to choke the Chinese so they would come under your rule? Because as I remember it, Hong Kong should be pegged to the wall, shouldn't it? Now, let's say that some of these need to depeg themselves and repeg themselves. Is there any formalized agreements of the United States of America? Because I'm going to tell you something right now.